So they get paid and you get botched executions. So we're going to talk about botched executions and rigged elections this morning, if you don't mind. And even for some people, if you do, if you haven't noticed, I don't go along with the establishment. So we're going to talk about their botched execution yesterday, but they got paid anyway. Justice wasn't served, but their billfolds got fatter. So we're going to talk about Mr. Crothers' botched execution and the way these stupid people, these crooks, get elected. As you can see a picture of one of them on my icon in a dress. The soon-to-be, thank the good Lord in heaven, former Governor Bill Lee. So welcome, come on in. You are watching the Charles Van Morgan Show. And we're going to talk a lot about botched executions. And we may even answer some questions today. So maybe put them on here and we'll see what we got. As you see the beautiful American flag in the background. Let's get this camera adjusted. And we also had someone give us a umbrella yesterday. So we had somebody pull over and stop, and whoever you are, thank you. Give us an umbrella. So botched executions happened yesterday. They had almost 1,000 people in the video that I was watching to get information on the end of the execution that never successfully took place. It was an attempt to execute Mr. Crothers, who was convicted beyond a reasonable doubt in a Tennessee courtroom, if you trust that. I quite frankly don't. That doesn't mean he's not guilty. It means I'm not in power, and I wouldn't and didn't vote for these people and don't trust their decisions. And they can't even get an execution done, which is pretty alarming. The ineptness of the Tennessee government just shines forth with the world watching, and people all over the world watch these executions and what the government is doing. With the state watching, at least 1,000 in that one video that I was watching to get the journalist take on the execution that I never got. I got their take on a botched execution perpetrated by a crooked governor, Bill Lee. And so we're going to talk about the botched execution and the what causes these botched elections is these crooked, rigged elections, and how they're set up for people in power, by people in power. And the mass populace of Tennesseans, you, me, and everybody else I would represent, the left out Tennesseans, don't have a game in that card. They keep it away from us, trying to tell you that we can't win when there's way more of us. And we're going to talk about the elections. And the more I lose, the better I get, because we gain ground every time. And when you're doing the right thing, you just don't quit. You just keep moving forward. You know, I'll quit the elections and I'll quit public speaking about people, crooked people in power, like I'm married to it till death do I part. So let's see if we got anybody in here. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Thank y'all very much for joining. We got quite a few. Welcome. Friday morning, you're watching the Charles Van Morgan Show. So like and share if you like what you're hearing. You won't hear this stuff anywhere else except for by me, because it is unique, just like you are in life experiences. Now, I have a unique, realistic view on things because I've been there, done that. Now, while I was not in that execution chamber, any part of that execution, watching it, or a victim, which is highly likely to a certain extent to any Tennessean that dares to stand up against the public corruption, I have been in official capacity as a government officer, and I did what I was supposed to, like I was supposed to, and I trusted the government. I mean, I voted the first time for Mr. Bill Hasbin. Thought he was a good man. He presented himself as a good man. And a good businessman, had a lot of money to put out these big, pretty red Republican signs. And he turned out to be, from my personal experience, the worst governor Tennessee's ever had. And he is still in public power right now. So how do these people get in power to botch these executions? People deserve justice. And executions, while not a good thing, are justice for people that are truly guilty. And right now, I'm not sure if they're guilty. There's questions about whether Mr. Crothers, legitimate questions about whether Mr. Crothers is guilty or not. Now, I know how lawyers do. They'll point out the most inflammatory counter evidence and blow it up, take it out of context, to make you think things that aren't true. And that's exactly how people get into public office. They blow up the most inflammatory false information, and I don't think it's raining now, so that's not true, and lie to you. Well, it is enough, so we'll keep this on. And lie to you and get you to elect them, and they're inept. They're good at running false campaigns and crooked elections and lying to you. They're good at getting money to benefit themselves. They're good at campaigning propaganda. As far as serving the mass populace of Tennesseans, you've seen it on full display yesterday. They don't care about any executions. They're doing that because they have to in order to get elected. And after they get elected, they'll stall, put them off, and kick the can down the street. As a matter of fact, the governor has just put the burden of Mr. Crothers in the hands of the next governor. He's not going to have anything to do with it. He'll be out of office. He had a moratorium on executions while they were studying how to execute somebody. It's not that hard. It's not that hard at all. You put them in front of a firing line and you shoot them. It's the most effective way to put somebody down, and you keep shooting until they're gone off the planet. That's the way you do that. All this fancy stuff is a way to botch things, make somebody suffer unjustifiably, or another effective way is just to hang them, break their neck. They will go. And I don't mean to be morbid, but people are so overly concerned about these people, and I am too right now, because they damn well may be innocent, because the people we got in power would convict an innocent person. That scares the hell out of me, because it's the state killing these people, and if they are innocent, we are the state. It's us doing it. It's our responsibility to get up and vote and not listen to these people in these crooked elections. They are crooked as hell. They're good at elections. They're good at rigging them. They're good at lying to you. They're good at propaganda. They're good at getting money to go out and spread lies, falsehoods. But as far as running the government for you, for the mass populace of Tennesseans, as far as administering justice, I ask you, was it done yesterday? No matter how you frame it, justice was not done. A complete, total, colossal failure by everyone in government power. And for the world to see, it's not the first time. Not the first time. Won't be the last, with people in power voting the way they do, if people continue to vote and buy their lies. And I'm asking you not to. So, and I'm going to explain to you how some of these elections go and how people think, and we need to reframe how people think about things and offering to you your way, not just a better way, your way. That is the government. The government's supposed to be set up for your way. Overwhelming majority of people in Tennessee want the death penalty. Give them that. I think that we should do it within 5 years. Give them 5 years for the state to be able to prove they're guilty or innocent, and have it done within 5 years, and do it effectively. Instead of this colossal failure that the world's seen, they had a colossal failure that we still haven't been told what happened, where 2 police officers ran into each other guarding the Vice President of the United States, the world watching, in Maryville, Tennessee. And so 2 police officers, 2 government officials slammed into each other. One of them seriously hurt, still I believe off the job. That's the government. A colossal failure. And they haven't told us what happened, because they're going to have to tell us one officer, one department was at fault. And it's the training. It's the training. The government is a colossal failure. And you've seen that yesterday. I was expecting to hear whether an execution went smoothly or whether it was affected but not the way it should have went. And what I heard was it was a colossal failure. Evidently there are signs and rumors that the Mr. Crothers suffered, which to me, if he is in fact innocent, and I don't know, I wasn't in court, I'd say it, but that's not an issue. Because if he was in fact guilty, he killed 3 people and buried 1 alive, according to the evidence. And if he had to suffer a little bit to be put down, that's the price of doing business. That's the cost of murder. And that's pathetic that they couldn't even get that done. So we're going to talk about that this morning. And we're going to talk about elections in general, the fraud going on, why people get elected. These nutbags, transvestites get elected, like our current governor, how that happens, and how I'm not able to win an election as of yet. Well, that doesn't bother me one bit. It doesn't bother me one iota, because the scales haven't tipped yet, and they damn sure will eventually, I believe, at least in as far as concessions are concerned, to some great extent. So we have the Republicans and the Democrats that are running for public office. See if I can get across this street without getting run over. And we'll be careful down here where we got these haters probably watching my show, seeing where I come by, if you've seen them yesterday. So people have different strategies. I fight back tactically, and in social movements, the unruly, which you can, if you haven't noticed, that's what I try to do. Not unruly as far as unlawful, but loud and competent and legally forceful wins concessions, or wins the social movement, and wins what they want in government. Passivity doesn't work. They want to sell that to you, but that's not true. It doesn't work. And these politicians in power right now are very aggressive, dangerous, violent people, but they get other people to do their dirty work. They don't want to be seen as that. So when you're an independent candidate, you have to do your own work. And some of it looks dirty, and if it does, I don't care. It's what's got to be done. None of it will be unlawful. So, if you don't want to get burned, don't put your hands on me. That's the way that works, and I guarantee it's better for you if you don't. because it's no thing on me. I know what to do. So we fear God, not any man, and pray about things. So botched elections and botched executions. The boxed elections turn into these boxed executions. And so I went to the academy, and I'll show you some pictures, with now Colonel over the Tennessee Highway Patrol. The third academy I went to, he only went to one that I know of. He's not nowhere near as well trained as I am, as knowledgeable or anything. And this relates to elections. Hold on. So I went to the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in 1990, in August. And also previously to that, went to the Sheriff's Department Correctional Officer Direct Supervision Training Academy and graduated from both. And then I went to the Tennessee Highway Patrol Academy for Commercial Vehicle Enforcement, which is the same as a Trooper Academy, except for they train you in truck inspections instead of traffic crashes, but everything else is the same. And then in order to be a state trooper, to be able to protect the public more, I went back to the Tennessee State Trooper Academy, which in 2004, Colonel Matt Perry was in that academy. Now, I didn't know who he was. They kept it a secret, and they keep a lot of this stuff a secret. They don't tell you, but they're always winning, and it's not by their own merit. There's something pretty crooked behind the scenes. So his dad was the captain over the academy, not just the academy class, the whole academy, in-service training, everything to do with training. Mr. Perry, Matt Perry's dad, was captain over the training center. Now, I didn't know that. I never knew that till years later. They don't tell you that because they don't want to tell you that he's getting a free ride. And a lot of people related to people in that academy got a free ride. Now, they put out a video. I'm just telling you how they win elections without really being able to do anything. I hope y'all can hear me. It's starting to rain pretty hard, but I got an umbrella. So let me know if y'all can hear me. So let's see here. And if you got any questions, ask them. So his dad was the captain over the whole training center, and they had an election. The president of the class, and Mr. Matt Perry was nominated, and I'll show you pictures of the academy class I was in right with him. He was nominated as one of the candidates to be the president of the class. In an election, the students in the class, the cadets as they called us then, although I was already a commissioned police officer for years and years, while Matt Perry was in diapers. And the director over the class, his dad, and he was nominated as the candidate. And there were other candidates nominated, and I didn't vote for him. He wouldn't say a word to you. He knew he was better than everybody else. That's what he thought anyway. He's not. He wasn't better educated, didn't know how to do the job better, but he knew he had a free ride. There were people in the class, they tell you how difficult the Highway Patrol Training Academy is. And it is for you and me and everybody else, Mass Populous Tennesseans. For people that are related to people in the Highway Patrol or related to people in power, they have a free ride. They don't pay full price. And Matt Perry got elected to the president of the class. Imagine that. Yeah, because his daddy was the captain over the whole training center. And people thought, I think, some people knew it, that if you elect him, knowing how hard they make the academy to be, show his dad that we're on his side and he's on his son's side, we're going to play along. He had enough people knowing that we'll elect him and it'll be an easy academy for us. You know, go along to get along. So they elected him president of the class. And I never remember him doing nothing but being a total complete idiot, getting a free ride. And other people in the class that knew people went through the class, and they tell you how difficult their academy physical training is. And you have to pass an obstacle course in order to even get in the damn class. And you have to pass a physical fitness test to graduate from the Highway Patrol Academy. So you have the image of a trooper that's capable of performing all kinds of miraculous, wonderful tasks, like some kind of damn super athlete. But I went to their academy 2 times, not just once, and I went to another academy. Graduated without any help from anybody in elite power. Graduated successfully at the top of my class every damn time. Excelled in some areas better than anybody in the whole damn class. And Matt Perry got elected to one election for no good reason. And other people in the class did not even have to take the physical examination at the end of the class in order to be a trooper, because they were, quote, hurt, unquote. And they were allowed to keep their job, whereas other people that were hurt were kicked out of the class. It's about who you know, not about your ability to protect the public. But they don't tell you that, but I will. They're a bunch of crooks. And there's a head crook over the whole ordeal. It's called the governor of the state of Tennessee, the transvestite in hiding, that he's on my screenshot. Hopefully coming up on 4 million people will take a look at who your governor is and not continue to elect people who are not what they claim win elections based on who they know and not on any kind of credentials or ability to do the job. So that's one way elections are rigged. Go along to get along. Now, I never got elected to any position in the Highway Patrol. I was a field training officer for a short period of time until we got another lieutenant that favored young kids over people who had been on the road a lot longer, did even a better job. Captain Kim Ogle, who just retired, a complete total dirtbag thug who just tried to get help her brother get elected to sheriff. I'm glad he didn't. I tried to put out the word, don't elect him. So they get elected by who they know. That's just one way. And I know that for a fact. I was in the academy with Matt Perry. In the previous class in the academy, we all got sprayed with chemical spray. It's part of hazing. They tell you they're spraying you with chemical spray to teach you how that weapon feels if it's ever taken away from you. To tell you their take on it, to justify doing it. And it's hazing. They laugh and giggle and go on while they're spraying hot cayenne pepper in your eyes, soaking you down with it, laughing and giggling, going on. And you have to do that. I mean, it's your job. You're going to quit. And it's hazing. And they did that in the previous class and the previous classes before that. And they clearly justified. You got to know if somebody takes this away, how it feels so you can fight through it and still survive. But Matt Perry was in the class, the captain's son, who was the president of the class, elected president. Justifiably, right? Yeah. His dad was captain over the class when he was in it, captain over the class previously. They sprayed every one of us, laughed and giggled. It was a big funny joke. Even a foreigner sprayed me down, somebody that wasn't even an American citizen. That, he knew somebody, and part of the vote, part of the foreigners that helped them win. That's why they want foreigners in here. They want foreigners in here that'll vote for them. So a foreigner from another country, in order for me to keep a job, take care of my family, didn't have an American birth certificate. At that time, wasn't even an American citizen. They later went on to give him citizenship because they got caught. Got to spray me down with very dangerous spray. Cayenne pepper, the hottest pepper you could spray somebody with in the 2002 Academy. Hazing me, hey, laughing, giggling, going on. It has nothing to do with teaching you what that chemical weapon can do. It's about hazing. That's the state. They don't teach you how to do the job. They teach you, we're in complete control. You obey us, see what we can do to you. Anything we damn want to. And, but Mr. Mike Perry was in the class, the second class, and they decided abruptly at the last minute that they weren't going to do the chemical spray on all the students. They couldn't just say, we're not going to spray our boy. They eliminated from that whole class because the captain's boy was in that class and he wasn't going to let them haze his boy. They're better than us. And you know, I didn't care. I was glad I didn't get sprayed with that chemical spray. That stuff is some bad stuff. It fires up 2 or 3 days later. The hottest cayenne pepper that you can get, it's some dangerous stuff. So I was glad, but he's just protecting his little boy that won the election, that didn't know what it was like to ever be sprayed with chemical spray. Wasn't ever hazed, but they haze us and laugh and giggle and go on about what they're doing to us, and they laugh and giggle about what they're doing to the mass populace of Tennesseans. They think it's funny. They think you're funny. And you know it. A lot of people do. And we're not a damn bit funny. And I hope and pray that people are fed up. I know I've been fed up for a long time. And that's the reason why I've been for a long time doing something about it. Now, they beat me down really bad and say, quit, you don't matter. But I don't care what they say. I'm not listening to them. I don't listen to them. I don't care what they got to say, other than tactics to advance forward to beat them legitimately, legally. Well, they play dirty as hell, but I try to avoid that. But I'm not listening to them trying to tell me to quit. And the more they do, the more damage I'm doing. And they've been telling me loud and clear, with every force that the government can carry, stop talking about us. Stop. It's truthful, and I'm not going to stop. And they're not going to be able to do anything about it. And it's spreading like wildfire. I hear every day a lot of negative, a lot of positive. I don't care. What I'm saying is positive, very positive. I think on good things, you've got to be able to point out the enemy and their strategy in order to make good. And that's what I'm doing. These people are crooks. As bad as you think it is, they're 10 times worse. And they're winning elections and botching justice, botching executions for the world to see, crashing into each other and treating you like you're the criminals while they're being bought and paid by people that run companies that kill 16 people all at one time. That is literally not made up. That happened in Botched, Tennessee. Everybody remember, when you vote for the Republican Party, remember Botched, Tennessee, and the Democrat Party is not any better. Let me tell you, they want to sell you, and I'll just be frank, they want to sell you bodily autonomy, women's health care, and they want to sell you real socialism, going the other direction. Right now, the Republicans are selling you socialism from the bottom up. The Democrats want to sell you socialism from the top down. Neither one of them are legitimate ways to handle things. And Reproductive health care is good. Let's reproductive health care for all. For even unborn children, how about that? They leave that part out. And they keep telling you, and we're talking about elections, and they're selling you lies. If people seen what they do, I don't think you'd be for it. I don't think you'd be for it. They don't tell you what they're for. They don't tell you the truth. That's what elections are about. They're about getting a message out that gets them in power. That's what they think. Any campaign I'm doing, and this is more than a governor's race, it's hell of a lot bigger than that. It's about winning concessions for you, the mass population of people, and fighting for right and for the Constitution in the state of Tennessee and the United States of America. And other countries listening, hey, you can take some of this too and use it. I don't know your laws, but I'm very versed in the laws of the state of Tennessee. Now, they say I don't know anything. They have a hard time with me. I didn't fall off a truck like a lieutenant with the State Highway Patrol coming across the border. I was born in the USA, and in my mind, that ought to mean something. In their mind, it don't mean a damn thing. And that's what they think about you. Your American citizenship means diddly squat to these people. And if they keep getting elected, you're going to end up, maybe possibility, in an electric chair with a botched conviction, and maybe they won't botch the execution because they'll be mad at you and it'll be personal and they'll get it done if it takes them all damn day. And they didn't even try very hard because they don't give a rat's ass, excuse my language, and it shows up. It shows up, and they're winning elections. And we're going to talk about, they claim and they try to humiliate me, and I laugh at them. I laugh. I laugh. I don't play by their score. I don't have their rules. They don't get it. They don't understand. It doesn't work that way for me. I don't listen. I'll abide by the law. That's the thing. They don't like that either because they don't. They have no law. They change the rules in the middle of the game. They're crooked as hell. They rig elections. They rig elections. The elections aren't fair. It's not free and fair elections in the United States of America. It's nowhere close. It's elections bought and paid for. And sometimes criminal convictions, a lot are bought and paid for. What you have here is a failure for them to communicate the truth, because if they did, you wouldn't vote for these people just because who their daddy is or who's bought and paid for them. So that's just one person in government power advanced to the head of my class in the academy, and I'll show you pictures, that got there because of his daddy, and now he is the major over the colonel, the top law enforcement officer of the Highway Patrol. And he didn't get there pulling up his bootstraps. He got there because he stepped on dead bodies, elevated him up. And he's weak and he thinks you're funny. So there are a lot of other people in government power, and we're gonna talk about them. They try to humiliate me because they rigged the vote count. Don't blame me for your public corruption. It's not gonna stick. I don't buy it. I don't take it. I'm not humiliated at all. It doesn't affect me at all, except for one little detail. It's called rocket fuel. It makes me, like they told the Indians, to endeavor to persevere. It's not humiliating at all to lose an election, to lose a rigged election by these people, and it's not humiliating at all to lose an election because stupid people don't vote for me. They get what they asked for. You look at Knoxville 10 years from now. How many roads will you have to drive on? How late will you be to work? I mean, they closed down one bridge. I can take you to a lot of roads. Used to, when people had sense and elections weren't bought. There's a trooper right there. Elections weren't bought and paid for. They opened up new roads to open up the economy, built roads bigger, made them safer. Now they're making walking trails, stopping roads that were already planned, making major thoroughfares 2 lanes when they used to be 4, and right now they ought to be 6 or 7. Shutting down roads, blocking emergency equipment from getting to mass populace of people in the UT area, closing down whole roads in the UT area, putting up roadblocks that it takes you a long time to get down the same stretch of road because it's got mountains on it you got to drive over that they say it's for safety. The logic in these people. Now there's a mad driver. A little bit of road rage. So it's crazy what they're doing to you, the economy. It ruins the economy. So we're talking about elections, the result of these botched elections, bought and paid for elections, where you're voting in crooked people that are taking money from corporations, is exactly what you seen yesterday, waiting for justice when you weren't even sure if that needed to be done in the first place. And no matter what they did, you could tell it was wrong. If they executed him, it was probably would have been wrong. And since they didn't, it was wrong because they tried to anyway. Whether or not he was guilty or innocent, they made their best shot at it and couldn't even get it done. So either way you look at it, your government in Tennessee messed up. Because if it was a legitimate, guilty man that violently shot 2 people and strangled another one, buried one of them alive, and planned it. They say he's got mental illness, doesn't have good mental sense. He planned that. He buried the bodies where they dug a hole where a casket was going to be, where they had going to bury somebody the next day. He had a lot of knowledge. He's a very smart individual. So the mental thing doesn't really come into play if you ask me. So if it was a legitimate, guilt beyond a reasonable doubt execution that he should have been executed, then they couldn't even get that done. They couldn't even get it done, and they tried. And if it is a good thing that they didn't get it done, that was the best thing, you still have an inept government because they wrongly convicted him, put him in a death chamber, and they damn sure tried to execute him. The only time they stopped is when they could not do it because they're inept. So either way you look at it, they messed up bad. And this is just something where the eyes of Tennessee are on, and we've seen it happen in real time. What do you think happens under the covers? A lot of dirty, sick, pathetic stuff is what I think. So what do y'all think? So hopefully y'all can hear me. And we're getting wet, but it's not lightning, so I won't melt. If it starts lightning, I'll find cover. Somebody stopped and gave me this umbrella yesterday. So I appreciate that. I asked them where they live so I could bring it back, but they said that was okay. So I certainly appreciate that. The show must go on. And I knew it was going to rain. But botched executions and botched elections where they rig it in your favor, in their favor against you. That's what they do in these elections. And it shows up in how they handle things. Not very damn well at all. Crooked people. And then they try to humiliate me. Well, you didn't get many votes and you're unpopular and you're a coward and all this false propaganda from illegal aliens that I was chemical sprayed with. Because I went along, but I ain't going along now. I went along in because they paid my bills. I had a job. They're not paying my bills anymore. I don't have to. There's another state stooper. So, like, share, and comment. So, now I don't have to go along. You don't have to go along either. They're not going to benefit you. And we're going to talk about, I'm not humiliated by not winning elections that I have run for. I am actually very happy with taking a few inches forward. And it has been great fun fighting for right, fighting for justice, fighting against corruption, and doing the best I can under difficult circumstances, which they're doing really wonderful under great circumstances because they're gluttonous pieces of dung. Have I made myself clear? So we're going to talk about previous people who have won elections, elevated to high esteem, great people, wonderful. They won the damn election, not a humiliated. And they were foreign spies, elected to public office in the United States of America. Foreign spies, confirmed. Elected to public office in the United States of America, not humiliated, elected. And I should be humiliated because I wasn't elected. I got a birth certificate. I'm an American citizen. I'm not a foreign spy. I'm not humiliated at all. They ought to be humiliated, embarrassed about their rigging elections. A person who is not even an American citizen, an illegal alien, won an election in the United States of America and was recently pulled off his job and deported, but he won the election. He wasn't humiliated. So I'm supposed to feel humiliated when the facts say I have no reason to be humiliated because people have not, as of yet, got a message of truth about the government. And I'm working on that every damn day as hard as I can. I'm pretty damn effective at it. And I have won a lot. I've won a lot. I haven't got in office. And I would like to, but that's not the major ball game. That's one win. There are other huge victories. Some of them I have already accomplished. So just because I'm not the governor of Tennessee, presided over a botched execution and an inept, colossal failure for the world to see, doesn't mean I'm a failure. I shouldn't be humiliated. Had I been in office, that would not have happened. It didn't happen when I was a Tennessee State Trooper. I was very effective at what I did for the public good. They used my public good against me. I'm just using the truth against them. A botched, colossal, epic failure. Botched execution in the state of Tennessee for the world to see yesterday by a transvestite governor. Nobody says this stuff. If you can contribute to the channel, go to the icon and contribute. And if you can't, hit the like button and the share button to help get this message out against people in power. We're speaking the truth to power. Running when they say don't run. You're not getting anywhere is their message to me. They have told me in uniform, public officials that aren't even supposed to affect elections in uniform, I've got it on tape, have told me and laughed at me to my face while they're in uniform, trying to affect an election in uniform several times. Their message to me is we're trying to humiliate you, when they're just humiliating themselves. Humiliating themselves because they're trying to affect an election. It's very blatantly obvious. That should be humiliating to them. I never affected any election when I was in a uniform. They have just the other day, and they will continue. They have multiple times. The reason I can't get a lot of votes is not any reflection on me. It's actually a good reflection on me, because they're working so hard at keeping me unelected. Why is that? Ask yourself, why is that? Are things going well for you? No, they're not. Maybe they think that if I get elected, things might start going better for you. They might get sprayed with chemical spray, symbolically, and you will have your say in your government. You ever thought about that? How can somebody, and we'll do some comparisons, how can somebody with a doctor of jurisprudence, not a kid, get the lowest vote count in a city of Knoxville race with a JD, with a safety education as far as emergency management, with a criminology master's degree, pass the bar? How could I get such less votes than people who don't have a college degree? Some do, but some don't. And I have had people ask me that voted for some of these people. That's how stupid they are. They want me to apologize for being smart. And, oh, well, you know, I don't think so. And they want you to apologize for not voting and apologize for voting. They want you to apologize for voting if you do. And you're just fine if you stay at home. And you're just fine if you stay if you vote for them. And if you're not going to vote for them, you better stay at home or you're stupid. Or vote for an independent candidate because we can't vote. So they tell you logic is stupid. So I had this lady who's over an organization that helps a lot of people. So she's got a lot of pull here in Knoxville. Got a lot of pull. And she thought she would humiliate me. And notably, the organization that helps a lot of people, that gets a lot of donations, that she works for, she tried to humiliate me, is stealing. They had a person over it that was stealing thousands and thousands of dollars. So I don't think I'm humiliated. But she literally asked me, trying to humiliate me, because any bozo can get on the ballot. You know, real kind of trying to see what she could find and how she could humiliate me. Like, why are you running for office for? You don't deserve to be running. But she didn't ask me that. She said, what are your qualifications? And she wasn't wanting to really know my qualifications, because she didn't know my qualifications. And when I told her, she didn't want to hear it. And then what she said was pretty horrifically stupid. And if people like that don't vote for me, let them run their crooked organizations, act like they're helping the poor when they're ripping you off. I'll keep on about my business and not listen to a damn word your stupid mouth says. Because when I told her my education's which blows any Knoxville candidate off the damn map, and besides that, I'm a Vol fan. She said, well, an education doesn't make any difference. She was trying to find out that I didn't have any education because she didn't think I did. Because most people that run as an independent don't, because they don't have the fire behind them and won't run on a party ticket because they're so damn crooked. So when I told her I did, she said that didn't matter. I mean, that's how they think. That's how they think. Because it doesn't matter what you say. They're not going to agree with you because they're stupid. And she mentioned a candidate that she voted for. And I said, well, you can vote for whoever you want to. He doesn't have the education, knowledge that I have, that I could use to help run the city council to make it better for Knoxville. And she literally said to me, that doesn't matter that he doesn't have the education that you have. I said, it doesn't matter that he doesn't have the education that I have from the University of Tennessee. He doesn't have training and education in emergency management in case we have a horrific event to know how to protect people's lives. That doesn't matter. Obviously it does. And she conceded because that's such a stupid argument. And that's how they do. They argue stuff that makes completely, total, no sense whatsoever at all. And if you look into it, you find out how stupid they are. And you realize they're just haters and they're stupid and they're disgusting, despicable, nasty people. And they wouldn't vote for you no matter what unless you bought them off and gave them money and promised them favors. And that's what it's about. And I won't do that. I'm for the mass populace of Tennesseans. I proved that I will serve Tennesseans by my previous job performance, lawing everybody equally, protecting everybody, sometimes at my own expense and my own risk, honoring my oath. And they haven't. And they tell you it don't matter. It matters. It's got some fire in it and it will mess them up in the long run. They don't have enough steam, enough effort, enough money to continue to sell their lies. And we've got enough people, enough power, enough voice, enough charisma, enough truth to make a huge difference. To at least, at minimum, the lowest bar is to make them give us some concessions to make life better for the majority of Tennesseans. And to a certain extent, we've already done that. We're putting the heat on them. Big time. It's on, and we're going to put some more heat on when we get to our signature location and talk about some people that have won public office that, in their eyes, they weren't humiliated. And they were liars and fraudsters. And they got caught. Look at all the liars and fraudsters in public office that don't get caught. They're doing botched executions and doing all kinds of things behind the scenes that you can't see that are running our government and giving them a utopia that benefits them and not you. So hold on to the show, like and share, contribute if you can. It is a dreary day, but we have a lot of important stuff to say. So hold on about elections and the botched execution yesterday, and about how we're not humiliated one bit about not winning elections. I mean, they have people win elections based on people voting for them in an area where they are neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazi voted them in office for the most part, I believe, in your state government. So I'm humiliated. I didn't win by neo-Nazi votes. I'm not humiliated, not at all. They ought to be embarrassed. They didn't get elected because of their education, knowledge, how to help the mass populace of Tennesseans. They got elected because I believe they're racist. They live in a racist area where there's a neo-Nazi compound. Look it up. Who's over Monroe County District in your Tennessee state government where a neo-Nazi compound is? So I need to be humiliated and he doesn't. I think it's pretty disgusting if you're a neo-Nazi, or it's disgusting if you are, and we got a few people on here, like, share, and comment. It's disgusting. You folks are trash. Felons can win also, so you should be just fine to run, Grandpa. Oh, I'm so hurt. Glad you're spending your time bashing somebody for no damn good reason. So, I'm getting my notes dirty. So I'm not humiliated I'm not a neo-Nazi and didn't get neo-Nazis votes. I'm not humiliated that I didn't get Black Lives Matter's votes. Now, not everybody in the Black Lives Matter is racist, but one that ran that got more votes than me is racist against me because I don't even know her and she says bad stuff about me. Got way more votes than me, way less education. So I'm not humiliated that I'm not racist either direction. And they damn sure are. They're racist people. So it's not humiliating to lose an election for the right reasons. Jesus was executed by popular vote, but that was the predestination, and he voluntarily. So nobody took anything from him. He gave it voluntarily. So they try to humiliate me, saying I'm bitter and angry. They're bitter and angry. You look at the people that run me down, look at their shows. They got very few people watching their trash because they go along with the lame stream. There's one of them in the Democratic Party. I ain't gonna mention his name. He thinks he's Joe Rogan. He's got a video titled it's his name and the experience, like the Joe Rogan experience. He's not no damn Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's got millions and millions of views. Donald Trump went on his show, and this guy has one video on his whole page that's got 70,000 views, but he wasn't even on that show. He recorded somebody else's. So as you look at the beautiful view, and we're going to talk about now we're in good standing. We're in good shape. We're fighting the hell out of them. And winning every day. So join the fight with us. Join the fight against crooks in government power. And trust me, they're crooks. They're crooked as hell. And we can beat them. So the botched execution yesterday. These are the victims, and that's the important thing. Everybody's got their eye on the perpetrator who was convicted in a court of law. Now, I'm not sure about that. I wasn't there. He shouldn't have been on death row if he wasn't guilty, and that's another issue. So it is quite funny to say, yesterday about 10 o'clock, the safest place as far as your life being taken to be in the state of Tennessee was in Tennessee's death row chamber, because they wouldn't kill you there. They don't know how. Wow. True statement. My life was more in danger than Mr. Crothers out here on the road while he was in the state's hands with him trying the best they damn could to kill him, but that was safer. And Tennessee death row, Tony Von Crothers. This was scheduled to be executed yesterday at 10 a.m. I waited and waited. Nothing happened. The execution was supposed to take place by lethal injection. Now that's your first damn problem. Trying to make it as quick, painless as possible, while making it more painless, more painful, and longer stretched out, and in some cases unable to be done. I mean, damn it, a freaking rope or a damn firing squad works really well. I mean, cell phones are good, modern equipment is good, modern technology is good, but there's some things that stand the damn test of time. A good old-fashioned hanging will be okay. Would have got it done. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do a lethal injection. It was at the Riverbend Maximum Security Prison Institute in Nashville. The safest place in the state of Tennessee was where Governor Bill Lee was trying to execute somebody. That's pretty safe there. It stung a little bit, but you wasn't in danger of dying. He didn't. He was convicted and sentenced to death in 1996 for the 1994 triple murder and kidnapping of Marcellus Anderson, his mother, Dolores Anderson, and Frederick Tucker. Victims of a heinous murder. Somebody did it. And the mother was buried alive. There was dirt that was inhaled in her nose where she might not have been conscious, but something got that in there, her taking a breath, probably. And so no one's paid for that. No one's paid for that. And they spent over an hour stabbing a man in the arm, feet, neck, and chest, and couldn't kill him. And that's part of the reason while I'm in this fight against the state government for just a little justice. I mean, we can do better than that. It's really not that hard. It is a huge responsibility. No one really enjoys doing that. They don't. But when you raise your hand and swear into the governor's mansion or swear into public responsibility, that's your damn job. If you don't want it, don't do it. Don't flub it up like that. So, that's the reason why I'm running for governor. At least, as a candidate, put pressure on them to point out their colossal failures. They can't hide from that. They tried to, curtain was down. So, botched execution. And in this governor's race, and losing doesn't make me ashamed at all. I didn't botch an execution. I have 10 years of commissioned law enforcement, Tennessee Highway Patrol, a law degree that they tried to keep me from, and I'm an independent candidate as governor on this YouTube page with almost 4 million people bashing the hell out of them, truthfully, for justice, for right. They asked for it, I'll give it to them. And also, I have a litigation in federal court fighting for all our constitutional rights, trying to get my law license to represent you all, because they say that I'm not honest enough to be a lawyer, although I've never been convicted of any crime. But one of the judges that adjudicated that I'm not honest was committing a felony of theft and dishonesty at the time she adjudicated that I'm not honest. So go figure that. And also, that was over 6 years ago the first time. And I still haven't got my law license, although I've tried again. And they used the same ruling that she made against me. Imagine that. And also, so I can't, they won't correct what a dirty judge did. And because I ran for governor, they still won't give me my law license. But I'm still fighting them, and the litigation and fighting for my law license for all of y'all. So it's a national story breaking, a botched execution. A man who may be innocent, a governor who knew the system was broken and restarted it anyway. This isn't just one case, it's about whether the government can be trusted with irreversible power. With your schools, with your taxes, with your life. That's what the governor's race is about, and that's what it is about, us putting pressure on these people to get things right. And we can, at a minimum, do that. And we may be able to win the whole damn thing. I don't know yet. We're sure as hell trying, aren't we? So thank y'all. Come on in, mega. That's right. Make America great again. Make Tennessee great for the first time. I don't believe it. It's been great. So let's scoot over here away from the, try not to get in people's way. Got over 100 people in here. Thank y'all. If you believe Tennessee deserves better governance, people out that tell the truth, then, and believe in this channel, then go to the icon, support the channel, or at least, if you don't have money, I understand that, hit the like button. Help us print out leaflets and truthful information and get the message out. Traveling the state, putting the truth out about people who have put me in jail for telling them what I still am going to tell them. If you're doing right, don't stop just because they make it hard on you. That's a sign you're getting somewhere. And trust me, I'm getting somewhere. So chip in if you want to. Every dollar helps, or hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Most of our viewers don't subscribe. So, the box execution. So I support executions, but I don't support executions where the person may not be guilty under our system of governance right now, where the governor chooses the judges and they're not running against another opponent in retention elections. So he gets to decide who lives and dies. And he's not a very good person. I support the death penalty for the guilty. The people, those victims left behind deserve justice. And that's not changed. What I don't support is an incompetent governor and increasing that power. So, had I been governor in government office, I would have got it done. Those people were murdered in Memphis in 1994. Marcus Carlo Anderson, 23, his mother Doris Anderson, and teenager Frederick Tucker, kidnapped, killed, buried in a cemetery. The medical examiner said they were buried alive. Now, he later recanted, but if he did that, he should have been charged with perjury. Over an hour, arms, feet, neck, chest. The hired doctor admitted under oath that he's not certified to place a central IV line at any hospital. Not anyone anywhere. So he wasn't qualified to do the job. They injected lidocaine into his chest. He said he could still feel it. And I'm real concerned about that. If he was guilty, I'm not concerned about that. They stabbed him anyway. His attorney witnessed it. By the grace of God, he's still alive, or by the malfeasance of the government. And they caused him some pain in trying to kill him. And if these people are legitimately guilty of what it is being said that they have done, convicted in a court of law, under an honest governance, not perfect, but an honest governance, it shouldn't matter if the person suffers a little bit. The objective is to get the damn job done, and that's just the way it is. I hate to say that. No one likes that, but justice delayed is justice denied. So, and he may never be executed now. And they couldn't get it done. Hanging or shootings are good things for executions. They work. Any EMT could start a basic IV. Placing a central line in the chest requires a board-certified specialist, hospital privileges, and ultrasound equipment. And Tennessee used someone who had none of that, knowing that. Did they not go in and check and make sure that he had veins that you could get to? It's not like this is the first time that's happened. Tennessee law keeps execution teams' credentials secret. That's why they can use unqualified contractors and nobody finds out until it goes wrong in front of witnesses. The secrecy is the problem. Transparency is the answer. They won't even let the media witness the whole execution. They open the curtain right at the point of execution. They need to let them walk with them from the cell to the execution chamber. Let it be wide open, as long as they don't violate any privacy issues. And in 2022, Lee commissioned a 166-page report showing drugs for 7 prior executions were never properly tested. He read it, ordered a pause, and then restarted executions anyway. So he's already paused executions. And now this execution, he's kicked the can down the road. If it happens, it won't be on his watch. He won't have to make that decision. He's leaving that for the next governor, the coward that he is. He won't pull the trigger. Maybe he thinks because he doesn't know that the person is guilty. And it's probably more likely that that man didn't do nothing to him or any of his kids or any of his family. So he hasn't got anything invested in it, and being the governor hasn't changed his mind to help the mass populace of Tennesseans. That's what I think about him. He's not a true public servant. Alabama 2022, Kevin Smith stabbed in the collarbone, gave up, killed by nitrogen the following year. Alan Miller, 18 attempts over 2 hours. Clayton Lockett, Oklahoma 2014, withered for 45 minutes. Jesse Tafaro, Florida, 1990, 6-inch flames from his head. And Botched execution, Tennessee just joined that list. And they had another one prior. So they're not a new thing. They should have known how to put the drugs in his system, take him off the planet. If he did what he did, then it's a good thing. So his conviction is, according to what the news is putting out, based on shaky evidence, and they'll do that. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's guilty or not, because I don't trust the government. But lawyers will do that. They will take a granule of truth and blow it up, make a mountain out of a molehill, something that's irrelevant, put it somewhere where it doesn't belong, and act like it determines the whole outcome of the case. So they're good at that. So it's hard to know for sure, and you can't unless you were sitting in the courtroom, reviewed the evidence, and heard the case. There's no way of knowing where he's guilty or not, and we shouldn't trust our government. I sincerely think, unless they've got clear evidence by multiple witnesses over an extended period of time, they shouldn't be executing anybody in the state of Tennessee, because I don't trust the government right now. So he was convicted on a paid career snitch who recanted on the stand and recanted again in 2011. No physical evidence, fingerprints never matched, DNA never tested. And Alfred Shaw worked as a paid informant for Memphis PD, Shelby County Sheriff's Department, and federal authorities simultaneously. The one that testified against him, that he did this crime that they were trying to execute him for. He was a paid informant. He got money to give his testimony, which leads you to believe that he might have been given false testimony for money. The DA denied he was paid for 30 years, admitted it within the last 2 years. Paid informant testimony is behind 19% of all innocent projects exonerations nationally. I wasn't in the courtroom, but those are the facts, which does put a level of uncertainty about whether or not he should have been executed. So maybe it was a good thing that he was not. He went through 6 court-appointed lawyers and ended up trying his own capital murder case. And that's on him. Whether that's on him or the system is really murky. And I wasn't there. I don't know. What's interesting enough is what I do know for a fact. I've been places and seen things for myself, real live time event, dangerous situations, where I know what happened. I know absolutely what happened. Other witnesses on the scene know what happened, said the same thing I did, and I didn't even cooperate with them. And it is not what people in government power said happened. It is directly opposite. Even when they were questioned, knowing they were under oath, they lie, lie, lie. They're worse than dogs. So I don't trust a damn word they say, and you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. You should get up and vote them out. Every damn one of them, I'm telling you. I know what they did. I got scars. I know. I've seen it happen in real time. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. So, because you can't kill someone and then unkill them. That's why the government asking for that power better be honest, competent, and trustworthy. The government is none of that 3 right now. None of it. I'm telling you, none of it. They don't like me saying that. Bill Lee can hold a press conference any day he wants to, stand up and explain away what he's doing, and he will. He can go to Botched, Tennessee and run interference for 16 murders, culpabilities there, because he got campaign money to be in power. And if he wants to speak, they stick the microphones in his face. There are probably about 10, 20 microphones when the governor comes out and wants to say something. He's such a important, malfeasant, crooked, corrupt, lying individual. He's important though, ain't he? And I think the truth matters too. And if nobody listens to me, I'll tell God about it in prayer. He listens to me really well. He's got me this far and he'll carry me over the threshold. He will help. So I got a right to tell the truth about these people. I don't trust them. You shouldn't either. So this broadcast costs money. If what I'm telling you matters, then subscribe to the channel, share the channel, share this message. It's a message telling the truth about people in government power that just botched an execution yesterday. What more are they going to do tomorrow to you? And we don't even know if the person's guilty or innocent. And that's our government in 2026. If that matters, this voice matters to you, then contribute if you can, like and share. It helps immensely. I don't have 10 microphones in my face. Today, there will be a day when I won't call the news, they'll call me. And you wait and see. Because the truth has weight and value more than their dirty lies. I assure you I wouldn't botch an execution. Get a rope and set it up, or a firing squad. It's done pretty quickly. Keep firing until they're out of here, if they really did it. And don't execute people where there's a question. And get it done if you try. So let's talk about we're talking about elections. Now Bill Lee got elected over me. Okay, I'm not humiliated. He ought to be humiliated. His government couldn't perform a basic function of law enforcement, capital punishment that Americans and Tennesseans want. I'm not humiliated. Let's talk about the Knox County Sheriff's race. We're talking about botched elections by the crooked election commission in the state of Tennessee. Now, not all the workers there are crooked. Now, they pretty much helped me out the door. when I got on the ballot, they don't like to hear what I got to say about their boss. He got convicted, arrested of drunk driving. Now, they want to throw away the key if anybody does it, but I bet they didn't throw away the key on him. He's got money to get out of it. They rig elections. The Knox County Sheriff election here just recently. 11 current and former Knox County Sheriff's Office employees indicted, including the former sheriff, Jimmy J.J. Jones, charged with stealing $300,000 in drug money and using on-duty deputies to renovate their personal homes. We're talking about botched elections, botched executions, and people that are in power that shouldn't be. And why? Just because I haven't won an election as of yet, I'm not humiliated. These people are getting in office humiliating their damn self. And I can't win elections because they're rigging them. It's not my fault. But there's a tipping point. And we're making a difference anyway. We're making a difference anyway. Putting pressure on them to do right. To perform executions legitimately. To get people that are really guilty, beyond a reasonable doubt, to execute them. I mean, this stuff is not that hard. But they're good at getting elected. They couldn't even get elected fair and square. So former Sheriff J.J. Jones, Assistant Chief Deputy David Auburn, who both were running for sheriff, retired Assistant Chief Deputy David Henderson, Captain Aaron Yarnell, Curtis Nathan Cole, Lake Lowry, 5 others were indicted by a Knox County grand jury for stealing drug money. And what I said yesterday was coming to fruition because 2 of the 4 people running for sheriff were indicted for these crimes after the election, after the primary, which determines the sheriff because there's no Democrats running. So they were indicted, even though they knew of the investigation by the Attorney General, knew of the investigation prior to the election. They waited till after the election to bring these charges to the public's attention. That's rigging the election. You say, well, they're trying to keep politics out of an election. You don't hold criminal charges and allow somebody to get in office and then drop the charges on them. The public has a right to know. And just like I said, what's coming to fruition, I would have voted for another candidate if I had known that these people were being accused of serious crimes. I wouldn't have voted for them, but they didn't give me that information. They held on to it, and it's coming to fruition because a candidate that was on the ballot that wasn't in the sheriff's department that was preaching that he wasn't one of the good old boys, didn't work for the sheriff's department. He is challenging the election, and he damn well should. He damn well should. Because he didn't get a fair shake, because the public, me and the public, didn't know what the hell was going on. It was a rigged election. They withheld pertinent information from the public. Now they're saying they didn't want to rig election. They damn sure did. They wanted to rig it because they withheld information that they knew that the public should have known. Now it's circular reasoning, but they had the investigation. The public should have been made aware. They held on to it. They held on to it to an effective election, and it did. And one of them is filing a complaint with the Election Commission, and he should. He came in 3rd, but one of the candidates that beat him got more votes. Both of them formerly worked for the sheriff's department. He didn't in the recent years. So he might have been the likely candidate had you known the public corruption going on in the Knox County Sheriff's Department that they didn't tell you. So Mike Davis, TBI, thinks the TBI should investigate this. He filed a complaint. Now, he didn't work for the sheriff's department. He was preaching. He was running on something that come to fruition. He wasn't one of the good old boys. Didn't work at the sheriff's department, not involved in any of their stuff, and tried to be nice. Didn't say he wasn't involved in any of their public corruption. Now, I would have said that, but that's what he meant. Had I known what's going on now, I wouldn't have voted for somebody else. I would have voted for him. Because the 3 other candidates were at the sheriff's department at the time all this stuff was allegedly going on. That's your choice. And the vote score adds up to where if you take away the 2 votes from the other indicted candidates and give it to him, he wins. Or if you lower the vote count from the man that won, who was at the sheriff's department at the time this stuff was going on in a high-level position, you could infer maybe he knew something was going on, didn't do a damn thing about it, sought position and power over the truth that could have hurt him like it hurt me. I wouldn't have voted for him. This man might have won. So this is a rigged election. So we have a sheriff's department here in Knox County that was rigged by people in power. And I believe this man ought to be your sheriff right here. Wasn't part of that mess. So Mr. Mike Davis, thank you for fighting. He's not giving up. That's my kind of man. Don't give up. He's filing a complaint. Now whether you win or not, I don't know. But that's not the point. It's really not. People don't understand a fight or somebody that's fighting for something real. We have no choice. We have to fight for what's right. Winning is a great benefit, and we hope that happens. But not fighting is the biggest cowardly loser and the most embarrassment that you could ever have on the face of the planet. So that's why fighting and losing is a win. Not fighting, you're going to lose anyway. And you're a dirty coward. So we could have had a sheriff there. This could have been the sheriff. He's contesting the election, just like I said. They changed the whole election routes, rigged elections, cheated us out of somebody that was not in any way a part of any of that, worked for the FBI at the time, all that was going on. The sheriff we have now, and nothing against him. If he wants to talk to me and explain how he worked at the sheriff's department, he didn't know about a car going down the road on a sheriff's department wagon that was fixed, and how he didn't know all this in a high conflicting position at the sheriff's department, then that's fine, let him do it. Then maybe I'll be on his side. Otherwise, I'm not. I think our sheriff should be Mr. Mike Davis. And a lot of people believe that. And Mike Davis believes that. And I'm with him. I heard him, I don't know, got a lot of haters. But I'm not afraid to put what I think out there. Very brave man, Mr. Mike Davis. And our sheriff now might be a brave man, I don't know. I met him one time, he needs to stand up when he talks to me. So I always stood up when I talked to the sheriff, had respect for them, and that's the problem. They have no respect for you. They want you to respect them. And I don't know, I've never met Mike Davis. I'd like to, and thank him for running and hope that he wins. If, in fact, the sheriff that was elected knew about this. And I'm glad he's contesting it. So 11 current and former Knox County Sheriff Office employees indicted, including Sheriff Jimmy Jones, who got votes, J.J. Jones got votes, and Amber that got votes, who were indicted. I wouldn't have voted for him. So Jones and Amber both ran in the May 5th Republican primary, sheriff primary, and lost before the indictments dropped on May 13th. They ran for power while under investigation. Voters had no idea. That's how it works. They run, they win if they can, they hide if they can't. The indictments came after the primary, not before. New sheriff elected is Brent Gibson. Now, he may be a good sheriff, I hope so. I have nothing against him, except for the fact he needs to stand up when he talks to me. As I'll stand up when he's the sheriff. But they don't have respect for us. Actions have consequences. That's what the accountability looks like. It is too rare, the consequences, because people in public power don't put it out. And that's a problem. This is the same machine that runs Tennessee. The one that botched an execution, the one that hid a paid informant for 30 years, power without accountability, home cooking for the connected, a boot on your neck for everyone else. Everything we cover today is the same pattern, same machine, different faces. This is why we need a government who's not part of it, a governor who's not part of it, and a government who's not part of it. And never has been, I don't think. We're not getting Tennessee back again. I don't think we ever had it, except for maybe back in the 1900s. And then they still didn't run the government right. They had slavery back then, and they shouldn't have had that. People ask me why I keep running when I haven't won yet. And let me tell you about some of the people who have won, basking in the limelight. And they claim I'm humiliated. I'm not. A Florida mayor who wasn't even a U.S. citizen, a California congressman with a Chinese spy in his office, a Tennessee congressman who made up his entire resume. The scoreboard is rigged. That's not a reflection on the truth. I'm the best damn candidate in the history of the state of Tennessee. Got the damn scars to prove it. And just because I haven't won is not a reflection on me and doesn't humiliate me in the least bit. I know a Vietnam soldier who fought for this country in Vietnam and got injured by enemy fire protecting other people, the last one out of a building that got struck by missiles by the Vietnamese, and should have got a Purple Heart, Larry Bledsoe, and has never got it. That's not humiliating to him. That should be humiliating to Mr. Tim Botched. And I like Tim Botched. He stands for a lot of good things. I wish he'd forget about Martians and start worrying about the cost of living. He spoke with the president, and this is our elected officials, and I hope he does better. I'm trying to tell him to do better. And I think he listens, because the last time he's seen the president, he didn't talk about what a great time he had. When you're in office, it's not fun and games for you. It's serious business for the populace of Tennesseans. Put your nose to the grindstone, or don't take the damn job. They go into office to have a big party, and they have one at your expense. He's talked to the president. He knows about Larry Bledsoe deserving a Purple Heart, never got it. He could have talked to the president about that. We have a military soldier that was injured in the war in Vietnam, came back, and people tried to humiliate him, couldn't even wear the uniforms. He's not humiliated. They try to humiliate him. They try to humiliate me because I did the right thing. That's humiliating for people who try to humiliate me, if you ask me. Joke's on them. I'm not a coward. Larry Bledsoe's not either. He may not have that much longer to live. I'm not saying he's going to die soon, but he's in his 70s. He's going to live another 20 years. Has to live out his life without a Purple Heart that he's due from me and you. And I told Mr. Botched, he talked to the president. He was bragging about he got a card for his wife. You get time in front of the most powerful, most busy man in the world that has more power than anybody, and you worry about your personal life and your personal family. That's not what we put you in office for. You went in office to serve the people that served you with a life risk with a scar on his side. How dare you, Mr. Botched? The next time you see the President of the United States, ask him to try to get Larry Bledsoe's Purple Heart. That's disgusting of you. Correct it. Worried about Martians. I mean, my goodness. And I believe. And I voted for Mr. Tim Botched. And I hope that he does something about that. There are things that bother me. Person in the death chamber that really did it, that goes through a little suffering before the execution gets done, doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. They shouldn't have did what they did. Get it done. Somebody that fought in a war for this country, a war they didn't choose, serving this nation, they got back, they got spit on and disrespected. And then we have people in elected office that speak before the most powerful person on the planet, and they are worried about their damn sorry stinking selves. I get it, mister. I get it. correct it. Correct your wrong. And the next time you talk to the president, get Larry Bledsoe's Purple Heart. So these are people that are in office now and running for office. Mr. Philip Ben Amy, mayor of North Miami. DOJ says he entered the U.S. under a fake identity, was ordered deported, faked a marriage, lied his way to citizenship, then got elected mayor. It's because I'm not getting elected doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or should be humiliated. There's some pretty sorry, pathetic people that get elected to public office that shouldn't. So Representative Eric Swalwell sat on the House Intelligence Committee. A suspected Chinese government operative raised money for him, placed an intern in his office, and cultivated him for years. He ought to be humiliated. He was elected in office, should be humiliated. I'm not humiliated for running, not winning. I should win, they shouldn't have. Everything that's right don't always get what they deserve, and everybody that gets in elected office, maybe they shouldn't be there. They should, and they get humiliated. He's never charged. Ethics Committee closed it with no action, ran for California governor in 2026, dropped out over a different scandal entirely. The spy story never stopped him. The system protects its own. I am not their own. That's the difference. And I never will be. Bought, paid for it. He told and also a candidate told everyone he was an economist. His degree is liberal studies on economics class, got a C. And said that he investigated international sex trafficking, and he never worked a day. I'm not talking about this man. I'm talking about Mr. Andy Ogles, and said he was an international sex trafficker investigator, and the sheriff's office said he never worked on a single case like that. Inflated his degree. He was a volunteer reserve deputy, lost that position for not meeting minimum standards. Vanderbilt and Dermot credentials were short certificate courses anyone could buy. FBI investigated a $320,000 phantom personal loan to his campaign. He won re-election anyway in 2024 anyway, and I'm the one they question. Check out my degrees. They're real. You can look at my real scars that I've got from the government really putting them there, lying on me, and see I'm really fighting them. They don't have nothing on me. So George Santos, he won office, I didn't. I'm supposed to be humiliated. Won a congressional seat in 2022, fake degrees. Fake Goldman Sachs job, fake Holocaust grandparents, fake volleyball championship, all of it made up. He won first. They expelled him second. And they tried to keep him because he was voting their way. So I'm supposed to be humiliated because I didn't win. Not humiliated. Not humiliated. I'm not winning because I'm not in the end. I'm fighting in from the outside from a legitimate sound footing. And we're going to win at least concessions. So the Tennessee history. This state has been lied to before. Tennessee elected governor with Klan backing in 1923. And Lionel Russell won in a district where they got a neo-Nazi compound. And also expelled 2 black members and kept a white member that did basically the same damn thing. So you tell me. So the governor was a self-described segregationist in 1958, a congressman who fabricated his entire personal identity in 2022. The scoreboard has never been a reliable measure of character here. So I haven't won. Oh, I'm bitter and all this stuff. So these people did. They're great people, aren't they? That doesn't have any bearing on me. That's not the scoreboard. My scoreboard and listen very closely, people in the state of Tennessee government, is fighting you and telling the truth about you. And you need to be scared as hell, because winning is way down on the damn list. And you have nothing to worry about if I'm telling the truth, do you? If it's good. But you have a lot to worry about, don't you? So, Governor Butford Ellington ran in 1958 calling himself an old-fashioned segregatist from Mississippi. And won Tennessee voters have been manipulated and deceived from the beginning. And God bless emergency personnel. So, CVM for president, I'll take it. So, Governor Bedford Ellington, 1958, it was popular then to be prejudiced, wasn't it? They wouldn't let black people drink out of the same water fountain. Made them pick your cotton. Raped some of the slaves. I mean, that's what they did. It wouldn't have been popular to me in 1958. An old-fashioned segregationist from Mississippi. And won. Whole big sidewalk here, and see how close you can get to me. Wow. So, Tennessee voters have been manipulated and deceived from the beginning. I'm telling you the truth. This is the difference. That's always been the difference. Even if it's not popular, you'll get the truth, at least my take on it. You'll get real. The tipping point. Why we keep fighting. Every fraud exposed, every indictment that sticks, every broadcast that tells the truth. That's what moves the tipping point. We are closer today than we were yesterday. I knocked on 40,000 doors. Been to all 95 counties some 3 times. Got votes in 94 of the 95 counties. The only county I didn't get votes from was the one I went to the earliest. I guess they forgot about me, in Sneedville. So we're getting votes spread out. It's been effective. It just needs to be at a higher scale, a higher level, to put more pressure on them. Win or lose, put pressure on them. Put the truth out there and get them to have to go along, even if they're still in power. So I started this fight and I know how to finish it. The people I just described have corporate donors, and I have you. So go to the link and contribute or subscribe to the channel, and like. And how we win without a lot of money is winning is not just winning an election. Winning is making the next governor of Tennessee accountable to the public, accountable for medical care for the mass populace of Tennesseans, accountable for effective executions of people who are legitimately guilty of heinous crimes, which we don't know either one. We don't know if it was a good thing that he didn't get executed or a bad thing. What we do know is it was a colossal failure either way by the Tennessee government. Winning is making every sheriff know there's an inspector general with a subpoena watching them. I don't need $1 million to do that. I need the truth, and I need every one of you. And we have both, mass populace of Tennesseans. The machine wants you to think money means no power. That's a lie. They intend to protect themselves. The truth is a weapon and costs nothing. We are locked and loaded symbolically. What concessions look like? Real power without winning the seat. And we can win the seat. A concession is when they change what they do because of you. Not because they want to, because they have to, and they're not going to unless they have to. I assure you that. DNA testing in death row cases. Make sure people they convict in our courts are legitimately guilty with guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That's not happening right now. The next governor answers questions about sheriff's narcotic funds audits because we demanded. A candidate's credentials verified. The law passed because we made it an issue they couldn't escape. That's a concession. Every time they changed something because of pressure we created, we won. The scoreboard doesn't record it, Tennesseans do. Full DNA and fingerprint testing for every death row inmate before any execution moves forward costs almost nothing. No legitimate reason to refuse. Independent Inspector General with subpoena power on every county sheriff office. Knox County just showed us what happens without one. Candidate credential verification. Secretary of State audits any claim of degree, license, or military service on a ballot petition. Andy Ogles lied. It cannot keep happening. The movement proof. Ross Perot won 19% of the vote in 1992. That's a lot of political clout. Zero states won, forced both parties to make deficit reduction the law of the land for a decade. You can win the agenda without winning the election. And we can have mass power over these people that are in power. They'll be too afraid to mess with us, be afraid of a jail cell. Bernie Sanders in 2016 rewrote the Democratic platform by 2020. Ralph Nader got 2.7% in 2000 and reshaped environmental policy for 20 years. Even a loss with 15 to 25% of the vote can dictate what the next governor does on day one. We can set the agenda from the sidelines. And we can really set the agenda on the field, which is the goal. But we're not losing either way you go. That's what they want to convince you. I damn sure tell you, I assure you, promise you, we're not losing by any stretch of the imagination at all. That's what they say. Are you listening? I am, because the more they say it, the more we're beating the hell out of them. They're squealing like pigs. Jesse Ventura, proof of concept. I don't like Jesse Ventura's politics. If these dumbasses can win, and they're pretty damn stupid. If you got your kids listening, I apologize. And Michelle tries to get me to speak clearly. I'm not a pastor. I am a Christian, but I need to work on my language. Jesse Ventura, I don't like his politics. In 1998, spent about $250,000. His two opponents spent $4.3 million combined, and he won the governorship with 37% of the vote. Polled 21% 2 weeks out. So won by gaining 16 points in 14 days. $250,000 won the governor's race. Even bad politics don't agree with hardly anything that nut job says. Speaking the truth, there ought to be a whole lot more votes than that total babbling idiot. So, I do appreciate his military service. You know, I had service out on the street risking my life. So, $250,000 in 1998 is the equivalent to about $500,000 in today's dollars. So, if we got close to that amount, close to $500,000 in small donations, getting out the message, or by the barter system, if we got the equivalent of $500,000 or more by people giving us money by the barter system, by, if you don't have money, by telling your friends and family about this channel, about the campaign, about going and voting, then you're giving us money without having to spend a dime in these hard economic times by the barter system, by telling everybody. Because the money spreads the message that gets the votes. And if you spread the message without the money, the message is more important than the money anyway. So if we could get $500,000, we can spread the message. Jesse Ventura got it with a rogue campaign that stood against almost every ideal that I have, the way to run the government, against every Christian value that I have. And if you can't give us money, if you can tell your friends and family, you're giving us money. Friends calling friends beats bought elections. I keep saying that because it matters. It got me votes in every county except for one. Friends calling friends beats bought elections. If you can give money, give money. If you can't give money, give a call to your friends and family. Get them, drive them to the polls November the 3rd. That's worth a lot of money. That beats the money. That bypasses the money. That's better than the money. If you can do both, do both. It will make a huge impact. Even not winning, it puts pressure on them. Look at all these votes. He's got some clout. He speaks for us, and they will listen, I guarantee you, or they will go to jail. So, why two binge established candidates and one man telling the truth in Technicolor, Tennessee 2026? One machine Republican, one party that hasn't won state in 20 years, and one independent who has been knocking doors and exposing corruption 4 years. I didn't do this yesterday. The lane is open. The wasted vote is voting for someone you don't believe in. So you're not wasting your vote. You're giving yourself political clout. Even if we don't have enough votes, and we do, to win the election, you're giving yourself political clout. Because I will speak for you. I'm not a fly-by-night phenomenon. I've been doing this all my life. I didn't just start this yesterday. And it won't end tomorrow. So the ungathered harvest. Our people are already out there. 2,812, 572 registered Tennessee voters who didn't vote 2022, plus about a million that could have registered that didn't. So about 3,500,000 people out there. Bill Lee won by a little over 1 million votes. So if we take votes from him, votes from the other candidates, you're talking about, if we wake up a small portion of that huge voting pool, 20% or less of the a little over 3.5 million people, we can win this election. We don't even have to have all the people. We don't even have to have the available, a small little piece of that pie available to us. Given he gets the same, wins this election. We are way more powerful voice than they ever damn dreamed of in their whole pathetic lives. And we can get an execution done, quick, fast, and in a hurry, with a legitimate, dangerous person that has forfeited the right to live. That's just one simple thing. How many other things are they messing up? I can tell you a bunch. So 2026 is an open seat year like 2018, when turnout jumped 16 points. These non-voters are not Republican or Democrats. They gave up a system that gave up on them. They are reachable by someone telling the truth. It'd be Charles Van Morgan. So much truth they hate me. And we're doing what's good for them. We even love them. They don't need to be in power. They're not good for themselves. They can't convict guilty people they don't know for sure, and they can't execute them after they've already convicted them. Just yesterday. Not by someone buying ads, by someone telling the truth. This is our competitive advantage. Earned media beats paid media. 3 million views and coming up on 4 million actually means something. So, humiliated? I'm not humiliated. I'm not humiliated. I'm working. I'm in the fight. Win or lose, I'm in the fight. They don't understand that because their fight doesn't mean anything. This is a fight that has to be fought. Liberty or death. Now, I'm not running into gunfire, but it doesn't necessarily mean my death symbolically. I'm not talking about reality. We're not killing anybody. We're going and voting. Paid media is a 30-second ad nobody trusts. Earned media is a story people share because it's true and it makes them angry. This is a real story. I'm a real person. I'm really on the bridge, really getting wet, really fighting for you and enjoying every damn minute of it because it's a right fight. And spreading the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ because I'm a Christian and that's my faith. You believe what you want. It's your choice. We have been doing earned media every single broadcast. 3 million total views on the YouTube channel. Built without bearing airtime. Every time you break a story, Cuthers, Knox County, Ogles, that story travels faster than any ad I could buy. One share by the right person reaches more voters than $5,000. A $3 million media channel in less than a year, coming up on 4 million, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars that I don't have that shows up in campaign advertising, but that I have because the channel goes on even without the election. So what we need to hit 8 to 10% in any general election poll by July puts us in a position to win the damn thing. 8 to 10% polling by July. Call your friends. Call the pollsters. Tell them we're voting for Charles Van Morgan. He's for us. Get your friends to call the pollsters. When the pollsters call you, tell them we're voting for Charles Van Morgan. Tell other people. Tell the pollsters. If we get 8 to 10% in any general election poll by July, boom, viable. Possibility of you getting in the governor's office from nowhere. Humiliated? I don't think so. And we're not humiliated if we don't, because we're fighting for truth and right. So let's try to get in the polls 8 to 10%. 15% by Labor Day equals would, if they would, debate eligible. They're not even having a debate. 20% by October. Wasted vote attack is dead. 20% by October. 25% by November 1 equals the math works for a win. 25% by November, and we will win this whole damn thing. I assure you, the math's in our favor, the statistics in our favor, the truth's in our favor, the honesty's in our favor, the fight's in our favor, the people's in our favor. We can turn the state around to help people. Been promising to meet with Tennesseans in cities all across the state of Tennessee for 4 years to listen to you, take it back to Nashville and serve you. They're not doing it now. They're serving themselves, eating off the same pig trough. We got a jail cell for them. That's why they're fighting me so hard. Some of them need to go to jail, some of the atrocious things that they do. It's horrific. Getting the message out is the main thing. Polling 8 to 10% by July. That's the goal. We'll see. Even if we don't, we still win. But if we get that Katie bar to the door, Ventura hit 21% in mid-October and won with 37%. We don't need to be winning in June. We need to be building. Every broadcast, every door, every share moves the number. No general election poll has ever been released yet. The race has not been decided, not by far. And all we need to do is register on the radar a small, significant percent, and then it goes to the moon. Trust me, the numbers in our favor. That's statistics and math. When something has never happened, statistically, that just means it's going to eventually. It's in the odds. No independent candidate has ever won Tennessee. We've got one registering on the scale right now, getting more money than a Democratic candidate. So it's a wide open field for independent candidates to win. And we can do this thing. We can win it. And we win no matter what. Don't be anxious. But the thought of potentially getting you in the governor's mansion is pretty astonishing and very capable. So, faith, fight, and encouragement. The Christian foundation, overwhelming odds. Why the fight is worth having regardless of the score. The foundation. I'm a Christian, committed Christian. My faith is not a talking point. It's the reason I'm still standing. You don't fight this machine with this much stacked against you without something bigger than yourself. Providence, not luck. Every door knock, every broadcast, every court filing, every time they tried to stop me, and couldn't. That's not luck or a fake broadcast. That is a purpose that they don't know what that's about. We're about to teach them. I think they've been learning a little bit. I know who I am. That settles the question of whether to keep going. Overwhelming odds. I keep bringing this up because it needs to be keep brought up. David beat Goliath because the odds were even. Not because the odds were even. He beat him because he was right, he was willing, and he didn't flinch. The odds against us are real. So is the cause. The joy is in the fight itself, in the trying. And we win just for fighting, putting the heat on them. Telling the truth when everyone around you is lying, standing when everyone else expects you to sit down. Win or lose, we're on the right side of history. Don't let the scoreboard tell you otherwise. The fun is in the fight. Help me have the fun. Fighting for right against a lot of odds. Voters of truth enraged. So, if you're watching this and you're angry, good. Stay angry. Use the anger for a positive purpose. Anger at injustice is not a problem. It's the engine that moves the tipping point in our favor. Be angry. Voters of truth enraged. Voters of Tennessee enraged specifically. People who botch executions, seen it yesterday, steal drug money, allegedly, lie about their credentials, and hide paid informants for 30 years are counting on you being too tired, too cynical, or broken to keep fighting. Don't give them that. We win every day we fight. Every single day we fight, we're winning, and they know it. They don't like it. And I don't care about what they like or don't like. The people who botch executions and all these people, just yesterday, live, we're almost at the end of the show. The machine has corporate money, we have you. That's enough. Go to the link and help us. And we will try to be back out here to Monday or Tuesday next week. And let me just show you about their rigged elections. This is Colonel Matt Perry, Colonel of the Highway Patrol. This is Charles Van Morgan at the bottom, same class. Now you can see his position. He was president of the class at the top up here, Matt Perry. Here I'm at the bottom. Same class. Same class. There's Matt Perry. And there's Mr. Charles Van Morgan, same class, class 404, as the colonel. He sits atop of the Highway Patrol because of his family, won an election because of his family, and I can't win an election because I'm not connected, and they win because they're connected. Is that the way you want to keep it? I don't think so. I'm pointing that out. He didn't deserve to be president of the class. He don't deserve to be colonel because of his connections. And we can win the governor's office and put him on the employment line. And here is an example of how they win elections. WVLT sits down with the mayor, and I like her. She's always a nice person. And she is a very nice person. I disagree with her politics, the way she thinks things ought to be run. Emphatically disagree. As a person, she's wonderful, really nice. No problem with her at all. Very pleasant person. There's a reason she won. But politically, she's in the end. She's neither Democrat or Republican because she took a picture on the closed down bridge with Bill Haslam. WVLT News interviews her every day. This is Rig Elections. Interviews her once a month. Says each month we sit down with Mayor India Kincannon to ask your questions. Have something you want to ask her submitted here. WVLT. Now WVLT kick me off their property. But they ask her and the Haslams, both different parties, they'll talk to them any day. The news media buys. They hate me, made it very clear in no uncertain terms, not all media, but that crooked channel. I'll be glad to. Well, people know I'm out here, don't they? I'll be glad to go talk to them if they want to reverse their crooked. WVLT, this message is for you. I've had a lot of days where I have more broadcast, more air, more viewership than WVLT does. So maybe they need to come on my show. They're welcome. Come on, I'll interview them. Ask them why they're so damn biased and rig elections and cause a lot of horrific things to happen by going for the establishment. And I know why they get favors. Why won't they have me on WVLT? Why wasn't I president of the class? It's who they know. So here is what we need. $250,000 in 1998 won an independent election, and equivalent to today's money, that's about $500,000 in today's money. So you can give us money to get us up to $500,000, or so we can get the message out, or you can like the video, share it, that helps, or tell your friends and neighbors. That means we need a little less than $500,000. The more likes, shares, the more people that spread this message that tell people to vote brings the money way down, and we need a lot, way less than what we need than what we got right now. These are people, this man right here is a white supremacist. He won the election. He didn't win the election. He won more votes than me in the last governor's race. So are you humiliated? No. Not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. I'm energized. It's rocket fuel. Because Mr. Richard Taylor Jr. is racist. He put out a sign on the interstate, make Tennessee white again. I'm not racist. I have no intention of making this a white state. I have the intention of making this a great state for the mass population of Tennesseans of all colors, races, and people that abide by the law. And that's what kind of Tennessee I want. And I'm not racist. He got more votes than me, so I'm humiliated? No. But the tipping point, he didn't win, and he got just a few more. That's not humiliating to me. I'm not racist. I don't want to win running on a racist candidacy. And people that are racist, you can still vote for me. I'm not going to help you facilitate your agenda, but I damn sure assure you you'll have medical care and be able to eat and have a better life. We won't worry about racism. So that's why I'm not humiliated in the least by these people. And this is Governor Bill Lee. He's kicking the can down the street. He put off the execution for a year. An inmate was convicted of murder and kidnapping. He was sentenced to death in 1984 for the murder of a 14-year-old Tyrone Middleton. Broom was scheduled to be executed September 15, 2009, but after executioners failed to locate a vein, same thing back then, they knew in Tennessee, he was granted a reprieve. A second execution was attempted scheduled for June 2020, which was delayed until March 2022. Broom died of COVID-19 in prison before the sentence could be carried out. So Governor Bill Lee's kicking the can down the street. They knew that there was box executions. They knew, and they didn't care. These people in government power are getting awards for taking your property. This trooper here, Michael Loftus, Interdiction Trooper of the Year, got $19,000 as citizens' money. Whether it's legitimate or not, I don't know. So the government, felon executions, praising people that are taking your money by forfeiture procedures. Is that the kind of government you want? We're losing, but I'm supposed to be humiliated for standing up against people that are taking your money. This trooper here got an award for taking somebody's house. They give these people awards for taking people's houses. Is that what kind of government you want? Hit the square icon and help me get over $500,000. Or hit the like button, spread the message, or call your friends. Have them watch the channel, and it brings that $500,000 way down by the barter system. So Trooper Charles Melhorn, I went to the academy with him, real nice man. So it's not a square icon, hit the antidote icon, and help us fund your campaign that we can win or make concessions. Thank y'all for commenting. Sure is shadow. So thank y'all for commenting. I appreciate all the views, like and share. So Trooper Melhorn, Charles Melhorn, that's what kind of government they got right now. And we know what they do to forfeiture seizure money. At least allegedly here in Knox County, and probably all over this damn state of Tennessee at your local sheriff's department or city police department. We know what they do with the money that they seize from you. They remodel their houses, build duck blinds, fix their toilets, remodel their cars, use sheriff's equipment to do it, go to the local Lowe's. They seize money, and according to an indictment, where they've rigged an election, put the indictment out after the election, they're taking money that was seized, like this money, and using it, stealing it, and using it for yourself, not what it's for fighting crime. That's what it's supposed to be for on the books. They're saying, got enough evidence to say, to bring charges, to bring it to trial, that they're using it, they're using the credit card from the fund to buy themselves whatever the hell they want to, watches, whatever, weddings, a whole litany of lists, read the indictment. And it's money that got in there from this right here. Stuff like this, Trooper Charles Melhorn, and they're giving officers awards and likely promotions and better jobs and better situations if they're taking the money to go in the account so they can, let me say allegedly, use it to fix their toilet. And the top man at the top was allegedly doing that. Trooper Charles Melhorn was named Trooper of the Year for Chattanooga District. Trooper Melhorn's initiative on the evening of March 21st, 2010. Now in 2010, I wasn't seizing a lot of property. I was taking people dangerously drunk, alcohol level high, according to TBI test, not 0, and taking them to jail for their own damn safety and the safety of the public. Some of them thanked me. That's what I was doing. I wasn't in it for the money. I wasn't out on the southbound of 7540, where the money goes back after the drugs already went up north to sell. I was out protecting lives and property. Statistically, the fatality rate was way lower. They've raised it. Melhorn made 2 arrests, seizure of a house, 2 cars, the discovery of a large indoor marijuana grow operation, and a child placed in protective services, and the initiation of a federal investigation. The 8-year veteran of the Highway Patrol made a traffic stop on Interstate 75 in McKinney County, where he found a small marijuana, and after calling for a DEA task force agent, interviewed the subject. Federal investigation ensued. The subject marijuana supply source. Following day, a search warrant was executed at a Knoxville home near the University of Tennessee. Near here where the grow operation was found, seizures took place. Trooper Melhorn's action saved many young lives. How's that? Because he got marijuana? Trooper Melhorn's action saved many young lives, stopped many young people from getting high, and his work is a testament to his dedication to the Highway Patrol. There's many arguments that marijuana should be legal. Maybe taxed, but legal. But that money goes into a fund to be able to fight more people and protect more people. When in actuality, you see what's happening to that money. And they gave him an award. They gave me an award that year for making the most drunk driving arrests that lowered the fatality rate. They say Trooper Melhorn's actions saved many young lives. How's that? How's that? See, they say that. Vote for us. We save many young lives for taking somebody, stopping them with marijuana in the car, setting up an investigation that takes somebody's damn house that has a child for selling marijuana. That's pretty steep penalty. And they need that bank full because they use it, they save lives, and they use it to fight drugs. No, they don't. That's not saving any lives. That's taking a kid's home and parents away from him, putting him in jail for a small amount, self-admitted, of marijuana you found out on the road, and then using that money, putting it in a fund that, quite frankly, possibly is going to fix their damn commodes, rip their houses, pay for their children's marriages, and do whatever they damn well please, and they can't even execute murders, or we don't even know if they're murderers. I mean, that's what they're doing. They give these people awards. Here's 2 troopers got awards. I wonder how many sheriff's deputies got awards for taking money off citizens, putting them in jail. And I know they lie. It's not something I'm thinking. They might lie. I don't know. I'm not sure. I got some scars. They lie. They lie like hell. They dangerously lie. It's violent and threatening to you. Please vote for your own damn good. I'm sent to send the message. It's on you to listen to me and believe. And we won't stop. We won't quit. And justice, fair convictions, and fast, effective, not botched executions is not too much for people in Tennessee to ask for in their damn government. And that's exactly what we'll do. Not these bought elections by their family and friends, where I was there too. I had a Master of Arts, years of experience. He got elected, now he's in the colonel's office. Do you think it's because he protects society, protects little children? Hell no, they don't protect little children. They endanger little children. Don't listen to the damn word they say. You know how you can tell when they're lying? When they open their mouth. They are lying like hell. Thank y'all for joining me. May God bless you all, I pray. And we'll be out here rain or shine like the damn mailman, hopefully. And spread the message to get these people out of power and get concessions, which is exactly what we're doing. We're gaining ground, not humiliated, not in the least. We're not listening to what they're saying. We're not on their same playing field. The only time we listen to them is to get advantages, to clobber them at the damn polls. We need to win an election or get very close. A few percentage points. Remember, like and share the channel, subscribe, donate if you can. If you can't donate, then like and share the channel. If you can donate, still like and share the channel. Spread the message. Friends calling friends beats bought elections, beats crooked elections, and will keep you from having your property stolen from you and them use it to buy everything for themselves and their brother and their family and friends, and call that law enforcement when they can't even perform a execution. Botched it in front of the whole world. In the patrol cars, they run into each other. And we still don't know, that was last year, what actually happened. I've asked for the reports. They won't give them to me. They hide stuff. And very deceitful, crooked people in government power help us get in. And we will run the government as you all ask us to. And it's not just the campaign. Involved in the civil litigation, federal court. They're violating my constitutional rights. If I get my law license, I'll be available to help the public, to fight them in a court of law representing you all. And got this channel, millions of people all over the world telling the truth about the dirty government from a perspective that nobody's heard, and asking you to spread the message, like and share, and also on the governor's ballot. Statewide recognition, not my first rodeo, maybe not my last, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And spread the message. And also, the most important thing is spreading the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's bigger than me, bigger than politics, bigger than anything on the planet, because all this is temporary. So God loves you, and I do too.